Tatlum Spat, Homak Switch, Etas Qualawell, Quells Quislana, Equalot, Laweo. Dear ones, my name is Tatlum Spat from the Squaw Village, just down around the corner here. I'm very happy to see everyone here today. Thank you for answering the call to come to Walmart here to take a stand for wild salmon here. 2009, Stephen Harper commissioned Bruce Cohen to investigate the collapse of the wild salmon. In that year, 2009, he carefully deliberated. He conducted the research. He listened to all the testimonies from all sides of the issue. And after completing his thorough investigation and his research, he came up with a number of recommendations and conclusions. One of the conclusions that he made was to put wild salmon first. Put wild salmon first. The other thing that Bruce Cohen did was he put the burden of proof on the government and the industry to provide evidence that there will be no more than minimal harm done to wild salmon by the fish farms. Furthermore, he said, in his own way, idle no more. Mitigation measures must not be delayed in the absence of scientific certainty. So he is truly a part of idle no more. Bruce Cohen, in his report and the recommendations that he has made respecting the protection of wild salmon, is like a consciousness, a social consciousness and an environmental consciousness that resonates with idle no more. Because Bruce Cohen blasted the Harper government for passing the Omnibus Bill 38 just before he submitted his report. And he criticized the Harper government for gutting the Fisheries Act, for removing all the different capacities that the DFO had to protect the ocean environment and the wild fisheries. Bruce Cohen is going to go down in history, giving all the warnings, validating the warnings, the dire warnings that people have been giving to the federal and provincial governments for some 25 years, that there is harm being done by the fish farms. There is a growing body of evidence around the world that fish farms do harm to the environment and to wild fish. The stakes are running higher and higher. First Nations people along the river are huge stakeholders in this game that is going on. The risks are too high for us to stop mounting our pressure the best way that we can to ask Christy Clark and Stephen Harper remove those open net fish feedlots from the ocean, from the BC coast. We have now heard the reports of the Canadian Food Inspection Agency that they lost the battle against the ISA virus on the East Coast. Astonishingly, the CFIA has allowed sick fish to go to the market, claiming that although it does kill farm salmon, it can kill farm salmon, it does no harm to people who consume it. Bullshit! They say that the only thing they need to do is to take measures to make sure that the virus does not spread as they move it over to the processing plants. Human error is always there. And so that does not raise the confidence of the public that it can be avoided. And consuming an influenza-type virus is not very appealing to anybody to consume. The frightening fact that deadly lethal diseases like the ISA virus can move from farm fish to wild fish could mean the extinction of sockeye salmon on the BC coast. We can't stand for this. It is time for the federal government and the industry to kick in the precautionary principle. The precautionary principle means removing those open net feedlots from the BC coast. This is our message. To anyone who is willing to listen, if you do not feel the gratitude in your heart for wild salmon, just think of what it would be like if we had no more salmon on the BC coast. Just think of what would happen to the ecosystems in this part of the world with the extinction of wild salmon. This is an icon of supernatural BC. Salmon are truly sacred. And so we come together like this, and we'll keep coming together until the job gets done. Idle no more. Tell Walmart, remove Atlantic salmon from your shelves. Idle no more. Tell Christy Clark, Stephen Harper to get rid of those open net feedlots from the BC coast. Idle no more. Make Chilliwack a feedlot salmon free zone. Idle no more. Make this one of the hot button items, issues in the next election that's coming up in May in the province here in BC. Osim, Yahyukwasai, thank you so much for carrying the spirit of the wild salmon within your hearts and your minds and doing what we're doing here together today. Our collective power will make a difference. Keep moving ahead with this. Write those letters, sign those petitions. Come out to more of the rallies. The next place we're going to go will be Safeway, because they're selling that crap too. Who wants to eat that stuff? The PCBs. Those salmon that are growing in those open net feedlots have hardly anywhere to go. So they grow really fat. And when they grow really fat like that, that fat that's inside those feedlots, and the salmon, it absorbs PCBs that are bad for your health. So it's an environmental issue. It's a social issue. It's a spiritual issue. Let's rise to the occasion. For thousands and thousands of years, we, the people, have survived with wild salmon. We cannot live without it. As the salmon goes, so do we. So that's how important this issue is to each and every one of us. Oh, Sim. Songs, Sim. Let's sing.